Hi folks, Dave Schmidt here. It's the afternoon of Friday, November 22nd as I am addressing you. Within the last week, we've seen a lot of developments within the dinar community. There was a lot of hope that had developed because so many of the bloggers were on the same page saying that it was ready to happen. We received intel that everything was done, nothing else was needing to take place, and it was ready to go. And here we are now once again and nothing has happened. There's been a lot of despair, discouragement, dissatisfaction, and even downright anger that's been developing within the last few days. There's beginning to be a development of two camps within the dinar community. Those of the intel bloggers that keep saying today, it's going to happen, we're bringing you in the information, and would you please trust us? And then those on the other side that are saying, we're tired. We're tired of the constant disappointment. We're tired of constantly hearing that it's coming tonight, and you don't give us any solid information. You say that you have all these sources, and yet it is so simple to just deliver some verifiable information, and it doesn't come. And you're constantly asking us to blindly trust you. Well, what's been developing is they're now starting to attack each other, and we're seeing the two camps develop. One side not trusting the other. The other side is saying, would you please blindly trust us? We're the information agents. Folks, I want to come and say it's extremely important that we rise above the fray of the drama. The intel agents that are coming our way, the bloggers that are coming our way, I'm not here to say that they're intentionally deceiving. I think they're wanting to be honest, they're trying to be honest, and they're telling us their information. Could it be better? Yes. Could they have better accountability? Yes. Could they have better integrity? Yes. But I think what we're seeing is their own frustration beginning to come out. They want so much for this to happen, and they do want to try to give us good information. And they get frustrated themselves, and what happens is they then begin to fall into that confusion and frustration and become a little bit irritated themselves. And on the other hand, pointing fingers, attacking, becoming derogatory to them doesn't help either side. Well, I'm going to start a new series of articles, and I'm going to title them, Are You Ready to Be a Millionaire? That's an important question we have to ask all of us, because we've come to a point where there's a log jam on the money coming through. And what I want to do to you now, I want to talk about some experience that I've had for over 35 years of being around professional fundraising in one form or another. Many years ago, when I was a younger man, I was a minister, a pastor within a church. I knew what it was like to ask for money every week. I watched and observed and learned from other pastors as well, as they would basically, do the weekly offering to require for the funds of the operations of the church. They were professional fundraisers. And then I moved into a career of politics. And for 20 years, I worked on political campaigns in fundraising. 16 of those years were for my own campaigns where I had raised millions of dollars. I've had lots of experiences working with different professional nonprofit organizations in fundraising as well. And there's one thing that I've observed and learned through those 35 years. Because here's what we all want. We all want the log jam of the RV to be dispersed so the money can come our way. And what I see developing, it's now coming to the point of being beyond reason, and we're coming to the point where I believe it's a spiritual, energetic log jam, because we know and understand it's our thoughts that create our world. And what I had learned in my 35 years of fundraising is when the funds seemed to slow down, when it seemed like the source wasn't releasing the money that we needed, or there seemed to be a logjam, there was always one way to get it unstuck. And I experienced this time after time after time. How do you do that? You start by being the giver. You give of your money first and don't expect it to come your way first. There are a lot of us. I receive hundreds of emails from so many of you that are saying, when the RV money comes through, I'm going to give millions of dollars away. I'm going to give money to this cause, to this charitable group, to this charitable organization, to this worthy issue. But here's what I'm hearing coming from so many of us. I will give when I first get. Let me get the money first, and then I will give. And folks, it doesn't work that way. Remember the words of Jesus, give and it shall be given unto you. What it means is we need to be givers first. First give. And in the energy and in the love and in the anticipation and in the joy and in the gratitude of giving, when you do that first, it creates what I call the circle of giving. You step into the circle, you create the action of giving, and then the giving circles around and comes back to you. That's been my experience through years of working with people and working in various forms of fundraising. So I'm going to start something, and I asked you to take on this challenge with me as well. It's very simple. We want dinar to come to us. We want to receive the dinar. We want to get the RV happening for us. So I'm going to do something. I hope I can put this up here on the camera so you can actually see it. This is a 50 dinar note. 50 dinars. You want to know what? Those aren't very expensive. You can go to the broker that I have recommended to so many of these, to so many of you, and you can purchase those for less than $1.30 each. You can buy 10 of those for $12.95. So you know what I am going to do? I'm going to take my own advice of what I've learned for all these years, and I'm going to step into the circle of giving, and I am going to start making it a point that I'm going to give away at least one of these every single day. $1.30 a day. Most of us can afford to do that. And can you see what's happening here? You give dinar away, step into the circle of giving, and it releases the energetic logjam and allows the dinar to come back to us. One a day. That's less than $10 a week. It's less than $40 a month. Are you willing to step up with me and spend about $20, $25, whatever it is, to break this logjam with the energy of love and the energy of giving? Here's what I'm finding it does for me. It releases me from the fray and the drama of what's going on in the two different camps between those who are giving the information and saying, trust me, and those who are saying, give us some better intel. I step out of that arena and I step into a totally different arena of focusing on simply giving. And as I do that, I expect it to come back to me. We have the opportunity to change the world. We have the opportunity to change the course of history with this RV taking place. I think it's time for us to take a different tack, to step up and take a different level of how we look at this and change our focus from the drama that is going on and change our focus onto that of being loving givers. If you can't do $1.30 a day, then do $1.30 a week. Do $1.30 every other day. Whatever it is that you can afford within your budget. And for the first time, I'm going to actually say it, broadcast it to the group at large. The broker is silvergreetings.com. Now, if you find a better deal or if you are more comfortable with some other broker, then fine, go ahead and use them. And I want to let you know up front, I do not receive any financial remuneration or any kickback by referring you to that broker. It's simply been one that I have used, my friends have used, and we have found their service to be very good. I have never sent an email to Abraham at Silver Greetings. I have never talked with him on the phone. I have never had a communication with them other than just simply putting in orders to purchase the dinar. And it was the night before last I put in a new order. I ordered 20 of these, and they ended up costing me, let's see, it was $25.90, I think is what it cost me, and I was able to put it on my debit card. I want to end with this. Last Sunday, there was a segment on 60 Minutes about the new billionaire philanthropist. And it interviewed predominantly Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, the two wealthiest men in the world. Those two men have taken on a challenge to other billionaires. They are asking billionaires to join them and become a part of the billionaire club that is going to give away at least half of their money. And in that segment, Bill Gates said he is going to give away 99% of his wealth, and Warren Buffett is going to give away 95% of their wealth. They are the example of the new paradigm that is coming our way, as people are beginning to change how they see and how they use wealth. Warren Buffett, he was asked, well, are all the billionaires responding? And he says, no, they're not all responding. But I can tell you one thing, I think it's time for me to write a new book, How to Live on $500 million, because they just don't need that much money to live on. And when they hoard it, when they hold on to it, it doesn't do any good. They are the example for us, folks. We're about ready to become millionaires. Are we ready to be millionaires? If you notice what they're willing to give, it's time for us to step up and give. It's not the dollar amount. It's not how many dollars you give. It's the loving intention and energy that you put out when you do it. Whether it's $12.95 or $1,295, it's something that we can all do. Change our focus from the drama of the battle and move into becoming givers. In the new upcoming series, I'm going to talk about some of this. I'm going to use the illustration from the parable of the talents in Matthew chapter 25, where it talks about the different individuals that were given talents. They were given money from a master and were asked to put it to use. And I'll bring out illustrations of what's developing this to say, where do we fit? Do we fit with 5 talents, 2 talents, or 1 talent? Are we operating in expanding our money, or are we operating in fear and in hiding it and holding on to it and being possessive with our money? And it doesn't start when the reval happens. It starts where we all are right now. Now, about 5-6 weeks ago, I sent you an email, and I was very honest with you. And you, those of you who have read that, says, I went through a huge financial crisis. It was about 5 years ago. I was in a real estate development project, and I was on the verge of making almost $800,000. And the real estate crash came, and I lost everything I had. I had to file a bankruptcy. I lost my home to foreclosure, and a downward spiral of my own experience was happening for me financially. But I chose to stay above the fray. I chose to stay above the drama. Did I learn from it? Immensely. It's what helped to wake me up. It was my path that I went through. I hope you don't go through that path, but some of us will. But here's what I have learned through that process. I have learned how to let go of all energetic attachment to money. I've been around money most of my whole life. It's something that I understand. I had billionaires come into my office and ask me for help when I was a state senator. I was responsible in our biannual budget of making a decision of how we were to disperse billions of dollars of discretionary part of our annual budget for the state of Washington. I was the vice chair of our appropriations committee for almost 5 years. I learned what it was to be responsible with other people's money and how to disperse that. But I also realized I had my own personal attachment to the outcome. And it was my crisis that had set me free, where I learned how to realize I can be at peace, I can be in the place of joy, I can be in the place of abundance, regardless of how many physical dollars I have. Am I totally there? No, not yet. I still have things that I'm working on. But here's what I have seen and observed in others. When you are able to allow yourself to be free, energetically free, from the attachment of money in your thoughts, is when the best abundance begins to flow. It's when the law of attraction principles really begin to take place within your life because you've removed the energetic block. It's when your thoughts of manifesting begin to explode. I've still got some things to work on, and I am. But you understand what's happening. So I want to challenge you to be a giver. And I'm going to be really honest with you. If you want to send some money my way, yeah, I could use it. I am not in a great financial position right now. I had to start entirely over again from scratch. And in that newsletter you saw, I commit myself to helping you full time in what I do, in answering the emails, in writing the articles, and in doing the radio program. I still receive somewhere between 30 to 60 emails a day. I read every single one of them, and I answer every one of them. I'm here to help you. I'm loving what I'm doing. I'm enjoying this. But yes, I am dependent somewhat upon your help because I don't have any other outside income. And like you, I'm waiting for the reval to take place. And the other thing is, I don't want to go back into a corporate world because starting next year I will start receiving a pension and then I'll be in much better shape financially. But until then, my money is dependent upon what you bring my way. Let's start the circle of giving. And I make this pledge to you by what I just said. If you send money my way, I'm going to turn right around and give a lot of it away. I know that it works. If you're not comfortable with that, then fine. Give your money away to somebody else, but just do it. Start the circle of giving. Step into the circle. Be the giver that releases the energetic logjam. We're on the verge of being able to change our world. In a previous newsletter, I made a comment. 100 years from now, history is going to look back at the year 2013 and the year 2014. And I think they're going to realize that was a year that changed the turning point of the history of the human race. We moved away from years, centuries, if not millenniums, of domination and power by a few to where the masses begin to wake up and become givers with their wealth, givers of their love. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this. I appreciate all of you. If you want to be on my email list, send me your email, thesedonaconnection@msn.com, or even daveschmidt@msn.com. I'll add you to the list, and I appreciate it. I'm looking forward for all of us beginning to break this log jam. Let's do it together. Thank you very much. Love all of you.